Alright, welcome to the video MaskofTiers. Today we're going to be talking about tier list in Mortal Kombat. A little bit overdue, but we're about to get a new season, so I kind of want to drop this before the new season drops. So to kind of explain how I set this up, carry more so means easy use is dumb. You probably use the same game plan on every single character, and you don't even need a cameo. Starting off with my first culprit, you love him, you hate him. I'm starting off with Johnny Cage. And this is in no particular order of this character is better than that character. I'm gonna put Johnny Cage up there. Like, he's the first thing that comes to mind. 9-frame mid, literally brain dead mix in the corner. They did nerf, I guess you could say, his like parry, but that's a slap on the wrist. He's still stupid to me, like dumb character. Let's also move on to the next character. Let me see. I recently discovered that my man's Kenshi. Kenshi's insane. So Kenshi literally can use Sento 50-50 mix, hard knockdown reset. Probably the best pokes in the game next to Ashrah, who's also going to be on this list. Kenshi's a crazy one because what people don't realize about Kenshi is you don't just have to deal with normal Kenshi. Kenshi has Sento stance and basic stance on top of Sento. On top of Sento can actually move and manipulate while he's blocking. So technically, he's got a little bit. It's like having Striker with a sword. Like it's just crazy. But I will give this credit to Kenshi. Kenshi is hard to use. So I gotta point that out. Johnny Cage, come on now. It's literally like playing a Tekken character, but easier. Like it's just crazy. So let's go talk about my girl Ashrah. Now, see, me and Ashrah have a love-hate relationship. If you play Ashrah and you complain about losing to a character in this current patch, it is 100% your problem. You're probably just bad at the game in general. She literally has, I believe, like I think it's a high. It's like a high stab, which I'll do a video about each one of these characters later. But she has a high stab that crumples on hit, acts like a counter hit, allows her to get 300, 400 plus damage. And she's one of the few characters that can actually juggle off Serena's back daggers while you're in the air for like almost a full conversion. If that's not good enough, her projectile can basically be pressured into, which I guess you could say I would throw armor, but that's risky. She literally gets +4 advantage, which means she can just loop and spam, loop and spam, loop and spam. Her synergy with Serena, yeah, it's just cheap. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, if you play Ashrah, have fun, you know what I'm saying? I'm not shaming nobody, but your wins probably don't even count. I wouldn't even count those. Let's move on to my next character that's up here. Let's not forget the God of Thunder, Raiden. Absolutely carried. I saw a video on Twitter not too long ago. People were talking about the down one into Storm Cell. Yeah, so if you throw something negative into a special, there's going to be a gap that you can punish it, right? I'm going to do a video showing some of the stuff that Raiden can do that I think the tournament players are aware of, but a lot of the people aren't aware of. He completely can jail you into almost perfect block pressure, and he's chipping you out, and he's gaining meter. And if you try to get your turn back, well, he got a cameo to throw a little, a little spice on that. I actually think he's broken. I'm not even going to lie. Most of his gameplay is fine. I don't even hate the character. Storm Cell, you gotta revise that. It's too good. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the reaction time you have to Storm Cell versus your options to Storm Cell off of Raiden properly setting that up. And then to make matters worse, he literally has a multi-hitting trip that at any point can be canceled into Storm Cell, a full screen projectile. He jumps out the air like mother-loving Superman with electric powers. No, this is, and look, I'm not hating on these characters. See, what we can learn from these characters I'm picking is they need to spread the love. You feel me? We ain't trying to nerf everybody down. Just give the other characters more tools, more assets. Because I'm telling you, Raiden is choking the game out. Like when I see Raiden and Kahn, somebody asked me to do a guide about it. I can't even give you a certain guide to beat it. You really got to play lame. You can't even. He stops the game. Like man, Raiden is just. I can't stand this character. Oh, speaking of, since we're talking about gods, let's talk about my boy Liu Kang. All right, Liu Kang is probably one of the dumbest characters I have seen in the Mk1. A multi-hitting mid you cannot micro duck. Also leads into combos on touch. Safe on block. Can be canceled out for specials. Full screen projectiles. Aerial full screen 5-piece if you try to jump with him. But he can also micro cancel that to shoot you on the ground as well. The slow trip dragon, it's annoying, but you can actually, that's actually his weak point, so I ain't gonna knock him for that. He's crazy. He's actually like, Liu Kang is dumb easy to play. High full screen fireball, super fast. He's literally Sagat. I'm not gonna lie. He's literally Sagat with slightly more mix. I'm not gonna lie. His game plan is so basic. It's literally throw something, walk back, and then if it wasn't enough that he can throw stuff at you, he can basically throw a mid starter that beats most moves. Which I gotta look at the startup, but I forgot. I'll have a list of stuff he can do because he's so goddamn amazing. It's crazy. But he has a mid starter that is safe on block. But not even safe on block, let me correct that. Plus on block to where he can backdash when you wake up. You're basically constantly in pressure of shimmies. Like, there's nowhere on the screen that when he's playing Liu Kang or anyone's playing Liu Kang, that you're not in danger. Like, if he's playing Liu Kang, you're in danger. Like, plain and simple. I don't want to hear anybody talk about Liu Kang is honorable and unfair. No, he's not. He rewrote this timeline. He rewrote it for himself. He's dang near top tier, not gonna lie. Tanya. So Tanya it's a tough one. I want to put her in carried because like she has certain glitches. This is why I'm gonna put her in carried. Certain glitches, certain characters like Sub-Zero cannot combo her in certain situations. That's got to be fixed. She has a lot of multi-hitting moves, which I'm not really like mad at. It's like y'all took the game plan from Cammy from Street Fighter and just gave her like a staff with a projectile. So Cammy from Street Fighter with the projectile and a staff. Then you back that up with a cameo. So you're gonna peep that all these characters I put in carried are basically great and non-dependent. Like they can literally fight you without a cameo, which is why I put them in carry. Because it's like you all are just not even. Carry's not the right word. I want to say complete fighter. Like they can fight you and bust your ass without a cameo. They don't need backup. Let's get on my boy Gears, who I'm gonna pick up next season. I'm gonna join the carry community very soon. If you play Gears, which I respect to you, he is somewhat difficult to play. But I'm not gonna lie, the fact that you have a full screen time stop, a 1-bar breaker, you can get 400 plus in the corner, meterless. I'm even seeing now they're going up to 60%. No cameo needed. It's just Gears comboing. Is insane. And people keep saying, Gears is slow and he can't really reach you. His whole game plan is long string. You're really supposed to use him in the mid-range. He's not even a close-range character. That's not how he was designed. He's like a zoner, like / jack-of-all-trade character, is what I'm really start calling him, that can fight you close up because he has an 11-frame mid that jails you into, I think, a high or another mid. It might be a double mid. I gotta look at it. But for sure, Gears can use any cameo. He synergizes with every cameo in the game because basically it's just time stop. And we're not talking about time stop gives him hella damage. But because he's froze the game essentially for you just trying to move full screen in the air on the ground while you're throwing dang near everything but an X-ray, he can literally, the cameo meter that's on his side is rebuilding while he's just doing straight damage. And he doesn't really need meter because let's be honest, when you finally hit him, 1-bar breaker, appreciate you, thank you, get all my health back, all your resources you just used, yeah, you ain't getting none of that. Use 3 bars in a combo, sorry you messed up. Yeah, like I said, Gears, hey, I'm picking him up. Hey, even if they nerf, I don't care. I'm gonna be playing him. He's insane. It's just crazy. Who else is going back up here? Reiko. Yeah, y'all know what y'all be doing. So his game plan is like Ninja Star. I don't know why you gave a grappler the fastest projectile in the game. I don't know what the point of that was. I think his trip is like +8 on block. I could be wrong. One of the moves he has is like +8. So it basically means if you block it, which I believe is a mix-up, he gets to like shimmy you back dash, be completely safe. What we're not talking about with Reiko, why I put him so high up on the list, One, his easy use is ridiculous. It's not hard to do any of his juggles. On top of the fact, with just standing normals alone, he can hit you with like his energy kicks. You cannot hop in on him. Like, just give it up. You're not hopping in on him at all. He's gonna anti-air you 9 out of 10 times. It's quite ridiculous. Also gonna put my boy Shao Kahn up here. So Shao Kahn fits in two things. Standard Shao Kahn, I would say, sits at about viable. You know, he's slow, he's sluggish. And then there's Shao Kahn when Shao Kahn takes the hammer down. When he puts the hammer down, it's just pure mash. He's just throwing 50-50s, hoping something opens you up. If it opens you up, he's gonna keep going. Like, he's the type of character, you get knocked on the ground, you think you're done. No, he's not done. He's going to bounce you up to keep the combo going. Unreactable 50-50 mix. High-ass damage. Like, when I see them Shao Kahn put the hammer down, I'm just like, bro, I'm not fighting you. He's really a boss at that point. I'm not fighting you at all. Like, don't expect me to. I'm going to play lane. Shang Tsung also. So, a lot of people are like, well, Shang Tsung doesn't have a lot of good moves. I'm putting him up here because... although I would say, well, it depends. Okay, there's two different Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung standard, I would say, is between viable, like really good, safe pressure. 50-50s, he has mids and trips, but almost everything he does is safe on block. He's really made to irritate you and zone you out. But the fact he can shapeshift and change into old and young at a moment's notice already increases your mental stat. But what I'm really talking about is carried is... it's not even carry. I can't even say carry, but I want to say high tier. Like, at the highest level is a Shao Kahn that knows how to do copycat combos. So the thing with Shang Tsung is so important. When Shang Tsung transforms and turns into any character he's fighting, right? If he uses meter, he gets a better version of your character. Let me say that again. He gets a better version of your character, meaning he does more damage. He probably he can combo into this. It's not even like he has to catch you while he's turned into you. This version of Shang Tsung, back unlike Mk1, where he had to actually grab you, get a hold of you to turn into you. Snack of a button, I'm turning into you. No problem. No questions asked. Like, full screen. And meterless. He has a meterless version, but meterless version just makes you the same character. But I'm telling you, the fact that he can basically turn any match into a walking mirror match is insane. Like, honestly crazy. Let's talk about Li Mei. So Li Mei is actually, she got nerfed a little bit. I think like Li Mei is like completely brain dead. I'm not gonna lie. Full screen mid, can punish down one from pretty much anywhere. You put her with Scorpion cameo, it's just gonna be constant. Literally controls the air with lanterns that you can't do anything about it, honestly. I don't even know if Sub-Zero cameo, which I have to lab that soon, if Sub-Zero cameo can even counter that, but she basically just literally throws a full screen mid, or semi full screen mid, launches you off of it, and then goes into literal plus mix-ups. Like, if she mixes you up and you block it, it's still not your turn, because it's forever her turn if she keeps stringing. So that game plan, she's really just another Johnny Cage in disguise, like low-key. And that's kind of how they play her. They literally just throw stuff at you and throw the Heat Seeker. Now, granted, her Heat Seeker is a little slower than Johnny Cage's Shadow Kick. However, it's the exact same gameplay. Like, literally, pressure you, beat the hell out of you close up. But she has a projectile and an air projectile that floats, so you can't hop. This character's brain dead. I'm not gonna. I actually hate fighting Li Mei players. And it might change. Maybe next patch they'll add more stuff to her, but her game plan is very linear and very annoying. Like, very irritating. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Omni-Man. I'm picking him up next patch too. Carried. I almost forgot to put him up there. His win condition is literally just touch you. If he touches you, you're gonna probably lose 40 to 50%. His 1-2, which is just square triangle, is +3, which means because you blocked, he's basically just gonna sit on top of you, shimmy you for a grab, might do Viltrumite stance, and if you react and you move with some characters like Sub-Zero matchup, if you're moving on Omni-Man, you're probably losing. You literally have to wait him out. Like, you cannot move. He has probably the best full screen control as a character I've ever seen. Pair him up with Jax. Who else? He pairs up with a lot of cameos good. Frost, Jax. Chameleon obviously pairs with anyone, so I don't really count that. Serena. he don't even really need a cameo. Half the time Omni-Man beat my ass, he's literally just flying across the room because I decided to like try to fight him. But I get he's Superman, you know what I'm saying? Don't touch Superman. Rain. So Rain was actually broken first patch. Like he had like certain moves, like my boy Johnny Cage, another reason he's up here is his jumping kick, which I didn't get into. His jumping kick is very hard to anti-air. It hits you before your anti-air even comes out most of the time, which is kind of weird. I think it's because the hitbox is too big and his hurt box is too small. Rain is a weird one. So Rain has the ability to basically throw a move out, like his overhead, like crazy mix. But the part that's scary is he can just cancel it out of the movement to grab. I don't know if it's a glitch or it's intentional, but it's really annoying. So you're basically trying to play smart defense and he'll just grab you out of nowhere. So you're forced to in this position where you're like crouching and you're like, should I crouch or should I block? And he's just like, you're wrong in either scenario. I'm gonna hit you. And it's I hate fighting Rain. That's why I have him so high up on this list. Sindel, yeah, she's in the carry category for sure. I would actually put her, she's about right there. Actually, this is actually looking pretty good as far as like, hold on, Johnny's actually not that great. You know what, we're gonna put him in order to like where I think they sit. Yeah, here come your Shao's right there. Okay, so going back to the before broken, I also want to put Reptile. Reptile has been slept on. I remember when they first dropped this game and it was like, Reptile is Reptile is really like low tier. That was propaganda. Reptile has had like some of the best like actual mix. Like when I say you cannot crouch him on wake up, he can literally just go mid, block, double mid, block, safe on block, full screen projectile. That's counted as 2 projectiles, but it's just 1 for no meter. He can even control the speed of the actual slime ball. And if the slime ball hits you, it doesn't just chip you. If it actually makes contact and you're not blocking, full combo from anywhere. While he's comboing you, if he just threw it, they really just throw it with no gamble. Like, if you're not close to him and you're running from him, may Lord have mercy on your soul. He's just gonna keep going and going and going. Kung Lao. Kung Lao is an interesting one. So your game plan for Kung Lao is to jump away and throw dive kicks. Then after you jump away and throw dive kicks, you're gonna throw dive kick and meter so you can land and air cancel it to something crazy, or you're gonna do his punch into his command grabs. I don't even hate Kung Lao in this game. I just want him to have his spin, like spin into combo back that the cameo took away from him. And having his teleport, he needs that. The cameo can't just be the only thing doing that. Like, no cap. But yeah, Kung Lao is just, it's funny because I have like the most recordings, which I'll probably start posting, of Kung Lao players complaining about fighting sub, and they're just throwing stuff at me full screen and being like, stop spamming, bro. So yeah, I really hate Kung Lao. Like, I hate fighting Kung Lao in this game. Like, it's really bad. Like, really, really bad. He has like great 50-50 mix, great stagger pressure, really, more so stagger pressure. And like I said, his whole real game plan is to basically just catch you while you're button mashing or tapping something. But even if you don't and you play respectful, he's going to go 50-50, stagger, 50-50, stagger. And any point of those 50-50s, you're going to eat like 300 to 400. Like, he's pretty up there, honestly. Baraka, yeah. I was going to put you in the carried category, but you're right before broken. Like, the fact that his overhead is a hop, which is cool, but the trip looks like an overhead. It's like a mental thing where you're seeing a move that's going over you, but it's a trip. It's so weird. It throws me off. Plus, they're just like known for basically just trying to jump air spin. Like, every Baraka I fought is very, very YOLO. But I would say his hidden potential, if Baraka players slow down and actually use him at mid-range rather than trying to constantly choke you with close range, he's actually really like decent at mid-range, because his claws, the little daggers that come out your wrist, they can actually poke you, and he can just play keep away, like low key. But most Barakas they figured out they can just rush you down. But even that trip I was talking about can be used in mid-range. A lot of Barakas are using him improperly, low-key. Like, I honestly, low-key, they're using him improperly. Kitana actually needs to go higher on this list. Kitana's insane. Like, honestly, Kitana's insane. The fan trap she uses on Wake Up, you really have to hold that. The fact that she has an aerial move that kicks off in the air. If you jump, she hits you. However, I did find out recently when she throws that move, you can actually punish it. I'll probably make a video how to counter that too. Just a really good character. I actually like fighting Kitana. The fights with Kitana are actually quite fun until you start seeing her walk up mid-range move with the knife. Oh yeah, that's crazy. That is, the reach on that move is insane. It's fast too. Like, oh, I forgot to put Smoke. Yeah, you're carry. Put Smoke going to carry category. And I wasn't gonna put Smoke up here. I actually like fighting Smoke. He's becoming more scarce as time goes on. So the Smoke cancels, I've realized, are negative. However, the part of the Smoke becomes absolutely terrifying. So I forgot to mention something about Reptile. Reptile uses basically 50-50 zone 50-50 chip 50-50 mid low, and mid is technically like an overhead if you let go of block and you try to micro ducks. That's why I say it mix. But when Reptile turns invisible and you hit him, his invisibility turns off. Smoke, it does not turn off. He will be blocking you while invisible, make you go negative if you throw something negative, if you're that daring, and that's just gonna be a combo. Like, his whole game plan, and he actually has a glitch right now, I think. He figured out he has infinite invisibility. Yeah, honestly, it's not even Smoke's fault. NetherRealm just has to fix him. Like, honestly, he's not even that bad of a character, but I would say he's very good, like very slept on, in general, like very slept on. So let's see, Sindel. I put her up here. I didn't really go into why she was up here. Sindel basically is what I said Liu Kang has: high fireball, mid fireball, low fireball. Can snap her finger, turn off your cameo. Literally knocks you down into basically unreactable 50-50 mix. People are like, well, she's in the air, she can land at a moment's notice, get a combo. They basically just hit you in either the drop kick or the screech or like the hair stab. She's like 3 moves back to back. However, I do acknowledge that half of Sindel's game plan is completely like removed when you have Sub-Zero cameo. Like, Sub-Zero cameo is the savior of this game. If they end up nerfing Sub-Zero cameo for whatever reason, I will probably delete Mortal Kombat 1 tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. I like Chameleon, and she has the little jade thing that, you know, it lets you like shimmer and whatnot, but a lot of these top characters abuse projectiles, except for Johnny. He gets a pass. He doesn't have a projectile. And you just can't, they all have great keep away game, but all these characters I've showed you up here, except for Shao Kahn, doesn't have the greatest of keep away game, but his hands is what makes you scared of him. They all can punish you close up, which is insane. That's why they're up here. They're just viable in almost every situation. All right. So let's go into. I want to put Melina at viable. So Melina she's iffy. Her lows are punishable. Like, her down 1, I think down 2, down 3. I have to look at them again. But last time I was actually labbing with Melina, it seemed like the reason they fight like they do, which is like punch, overhead, ball roll, YOLO, teleport, they're all very good, don't get me wrong. But I feel like Melina's like 1 buff away from being like in the carried category. So I'm like kind of scared to buff her. Like, if you buff the rest of the cast, yeah, but NetherRealm has this thing where they only buff a couple of characters and they leave other characters just sitting where they're at. They're like, yeah. And they just kind of see what happens like on Twitter. I feel like a lot of the actual buffs have been very reactionary, and I would hate to see what happens if she gets buffed too heavily. So I'm just going to leave her in the viable category. She lost access to her full screen projectile, which is kind of sad. The ball roll is pretty crazy, but her damage is utterly ridiculous, so I'm going to leave her in the viable. I don't feel like she's great in that many situations, to be honest. She's just kind of like throws something out hoping it hits. Nitara is, I would say, viable. Well, no, I'm gonna give y'all some credit. Grandmaster. She has to use meter way too much just to get basic things. Like, her little move where she throws blood at you and she uses meter. That is like completely unsafe and actually loses out a lot of situations if you don't use meter. She did receive a buff. Yes, she's high mobility. However, again, to really be highly evasive as she needs to be, she has to use meter, and she has one of the lowest health bars in the game. Yes, I've seen some crazy Nataras, but I want to say they were just really just more competent players in general. So I'm gonna put her right here. Oh, and she also has a move that uh, gives her the ability to steal health while close up. But I just feel like Natara's game plan is just it's so high risk with so little reward. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit. Quan Chi, you're like in the easy work category. I love the full screen like actual control he has. The standing kick that's high that basically allows you to combo full screen is amazing. His stagger into mix is very good. However, where he struggles, he's got the negatives of Gearus, right? However, his down one is like 8 frames, which if you know anything about down one, if you all both tap in down square, he loses in a mash off. And it gets really bad because you have characters like my boy Sub, who I main the hell out of in this game, who quite literally can bully him, which is bad because Sub-Zero doesn't bully a lot of these characters. He really doesn't. I know y'all think, well, Sub-Zero has the ice clone, or the ice clone. The ice clone is terrible. If you're losing to the ice clone, you're just jumping around, just tapping buttons. Like honestly, the ice clone's catching you. You're just flinging things. You don't probably think before you tap buttons, like dead ass. Like unless he's comboing into it, then fair enough. You know what I'm saying? But most cases, I just see people just run into the ice clone. And it's kind of hilarious. Havoc. So Havoc is, man, great 50-50s. However, what you get from the 50-50 is not that dangerous. I feel like what they'd have to do to make Havoc be up here like before broken / viable would be, okay, he does a 50-50 and then he gets a lot of damage from it. Havoc just doesn't do a lot of damage, nor does Havoc have a lot of synergy outside of Sub-Zero cameo. But let's be honest, Sub-Zero cameo is just a generic cameo that works with every character. I don't know any cameo you can't use Sub-Zero with, like honestly. So that's what I kind of want to see more from him. Is I heard they give him new moves next patch, but he really needs like access to no joke, like a 50-50 with a serious threat of like damage. Like you need to have hella damage with him. Like it's actually crazy. I'm gonna put Scorpion at the back of this list. Scorpion is like actually Reptile is better. Actually a lot better. Yeah, there we go. Swap places. There we go. But Scorpion is like dying on this game. Scorpion's entire game plan depends on standing 1-2 or 2-1, and the occasional, I guess you could say he can combo with the Raise the Fire, which is a trip. It doesn't do that much damage. On top of the fact that once he runs out of cameo, even MK Javier, as much as I love watching him play Scorpion, he's keeping Scorpion alive and a couple other Scorpion players. Let's keep it 100. If you take away Striker or Kung Lao, very high level generic cameos, he ceases to exist as a character. Because between, let's say you do 1-2-2 or 2-1-3, no 2-1-4. Yes, you're safe on block. Yes, they necessarily aren't going to get you unless you complete standing 1-2-2. You stop at 1-2 and you -3, so you're going to shuffle back and forth because you're in that weird spot where you're negative, but you're not negative to the point where they can necessarily get you unless you continue to keep going. That is dumb because basically you have to depend on what Scorpion in this game is shimmy, which isn't that great with him because he doesn't have a very threatening mid. His mid needs to go farther, honestly. The little knee move needs to reach further, like kind of like Omni-Man's punch. And let's be honest, I mean, if you look at his teleport, is super slow, highly reactable, easy to get a full combo off of. The little trip move that everybody complained about, yeah, you're too close to him, full combo. If you're using get over here, if I'm too close to you, I can literally dash up to you, full combo. It's like everything you do with Scorpion, you just get punished for it. And honestly, it's so sad. I chose not to play him season 1, 2. I might try and pick him up next season. He's actually like my main character next to Sub. It was always Scorpion, Sub, Noob Saibot, etc. And Shang Tsung in the back. But like he was so bad, and I just knew the way I would have to play him would be so stupid. I really couldn't do it. He needs more moves. Give him his. If you don't want to give him his swords back, give him flame swords, please. Netherlands, I'm begging you, give him flame swords. This is ridiculous. Like When I play Scorpion, it not only does he not sound like Scorpion, he's like, ugh, when he gets hit, but he has the nerve to really be whack. Like, how you not sound like Scorpion, and you have the absolute nerve to be a terrible, terrible character. Like, it's actually insane. Last but not least, let's talk about my boy Sub-Zero. Now, it's a funny thing. I've played Sub-Zero for quite some time. I'm gonna put him right here. He's better than Havoc, better than Quan Chi, better than Scorpion. Now, the reason I'm saying this is it's just like utility. Everything Sub-Zero does is bad. His slide, you will eat a full combo unless you have certain cameos. If you use his back 2 that everybody likes to complain about, the Ice Hammer / Ice Skull, whatever you want to call it, that is 24 frame startup. You will eat a full combo for that, trying to start it up on Wake Up. There are certain ways you can stagger into it to stop people from reacting as much. However, everything you do is unsafe. Your clone, unsafe. Your dive kick, unsafe unless you stagger it wrist right. I'll do a Sub-Zero tutorial explaining all of this in further detail. But just know, down to your fireball, every single portion of what Sub-Zero can do and can't do has basically been put under a microscope, and they've sat there and meticulously, with hard time and effort, made sure that if you're playing Sub-Zero, you probably know the character matchup, you sweating, you know his negatives, because if you don't know what's negative on him, they're just gonna beat the hell out of you. As far as his game plan goes, Sub-Zero is basically another character I feel like a lot of people are playing improperly. A lot of people are playing with him like Wake Up, back 2, and I get it gives you a great reward, although it's very risky. You're really supposed to use staggers, irritate the opponent, zone with the opponent. He's best when he's playing lane. Like, he's actually a trap character, so you're really supposed to play lane, zone, and then fight at the mid-range. However, I felt like NetherRealm was trying to be too careful, so they made his mid-range uber slow. So he loses to characters like Geras in the mid-range, but it's like Sub-Zero doesn't even get the type of like damage Geras gets because Sub-Zero has scaling on his freeze. So the part where I got him so low on the list, when you freeze somebody with Sub-Zero, you're getting a damage cut by default. On top of that, people are like, well, just put Frost with Sub-Zero or put Sub-Zero with Sub-Zero. While I do that, you have a whole nother mental stack that's like, well, you know, your Sub-Zero and your freeze and their freeze both count as the same rule where you can't freeze them twice in the same combo. But you can like try to ground freeze them, but you're going to lose damage because you ground freeze them. But then wait, ground freeze costs meter. You see how you're like doing calculus trying to like play him? It's dumb, but I would rather use Sub-Zero than Scorpion in this game because Sub-Zero's utility is better. Sub-Zero has a dive kick that if used correctly can stop projectiles. If used correctly, you can actually put a hard knockdown situation, use the Ice Clone Wake Up, and then stagger them to break the armor, which we've seen Sikander 555 do plenty of times. Shout out to him. I would go watch his channel if you want an actual like great breakdown of how to play Sub-Zero. He does an amazing job, daily streams. But yeah, honestly, when I play this game, I want to have fun. Like just like everybody else does. And I've been having fun playing Sub-Zero. Like playing Sub-Zero really taught me like how to play this game. He has a little bit of everything, but the problem with Sub-Zero is everything he does, every other character can do better. So that's why he's in the Grandmaster. Same thing with Natara. Why would I play Natara when I can play Omni-Man? Same game plan, but he does a better job. Every time he touches you, I know he's getting fat damage. Like, no questions asked. I mean, honestly, if you all want to know other characters that do a better job than what Sub-Zero does, Reptile does everything Sub-Zero does better. My boy Geras does literally everything better than Sub-Zero does. Same thing with Raiden. Everything I do, he does a better job of. Like, hold you down, staggers, he got it. Full screen projectiles, faster, and he got it. Fully chargeable, punish. Kitana has the same game plan as Sub-Zero, or what Sub-Zero once had, but everyone's fine because we all love Kitana, so she's not gonna ever probably get nerfed at all because no one thinks Kitana's a problem. But yeah, I definitely got Kitana up there because she's actually great. She might slide in the carry category soon. No cap. But this has been a long enough video. This has been MaskofTiers. Comment, like, share, subscribe with your boy. Till next time. Peace. Oh, and let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna give me some work about where I play some of the characters. But I mean, next patch, you know, this tier list gonna completely probably shift around if the other round really cares, but we'll see.